Okay, so I want to make this response video to this potential counter argument against antinatalism, which says that even if we could end all sentient life in the universe, that life would find its way back into existence, and that we would have to go through the process of evolution all over again. So let me read to you one of the comments that I found on an amendment video. It says, how do you respond to the inevitability of life argument against antinatalism atheism? The argument is that even if we get rid of all living beings, life will eventually form again, on Earth or somewhere else in the universe. And we therefore should continue to exist and progress until we can minimize suffering as much as possible instead of having ceased to exist only to start from scratch when life forms again. Okay, so my response to that is that, well, it doesn't matter because all life will go extinct anyway. Even if we continue to conserve the existence of the human species, we will go extinct anyway. The universe will kill us all in some way. There is no way we can live as biological creatures forever. Everything is supposed to go extinct and make room for indeed another process of evolution. So we will definitely go extinct. And so after we go extinct, yes, the whole process might indeed start all over again, starting from scratch and evolving our way up again towards intelligent beings who have the capacity to recognize suffering. And so we have two choices. Or we can try to maintain our existence as a species as long as possible and thereby keep throwing good and bad people and victims and perpetrators into the pile until we finally go extinct. Or we can deliberately go extinct as fast as possible and thereby not throwing victims and perpetrators into the pile. Now, my question is, which one of the two options will likely create less suffering? Obviously, if we go extinct right now, suffering will be gone. And yes, the whole process of evolution might happen all over again. But trying to maintain our existence as long as possible and thereby creating more potential suffering, and on top of that, the possibility for life to re-emerge again and start from scratch again, well, the sum total of all this will add, in fact, more suffering. So I'm sorry, even if life is doomed to form again and again after we go extinct, the best option to reduce suffering is still to go extinct as fast as possible, instead of holding on as long as possible and thereby creating more potential suffering to the pile. So this whole idea to hold on as long as possible in order to find a way to minimize suffering as much as possible, while knowing that we will go extinct anyway and re-emerge again starting from scratch again, is an idea which sounds pretty hopeless and desperate. So my conclusion is that once you have evolved enough with the capacity to recognize the suffering and the meaninglessness of life, you should opt for deliberate extinction, because the belief that we will reach a permanent state of immortality in the universe as biological creatures where we can guarantee that no suffering will take place is a nonsensical belief. Because the rules of life just doesn't permit us to stay conscious forever in our biological forms. We have to die, period. Everything in the universe is changing all the time. There is no permanent state of anything. Everything comes, everything goes. It's an unbreakable, vicious circle. And actually, the only way to attain permanent immortality without suffering is through permanent death. So we can only hope that after we die, we don't re-arise again as living organisms. And if we do, just wait until you're intelligent enough to deliberately fight against evolution. Now that's my argument.